our spirit? What is it? Where does it go? Are we able to see them using our mind's eye? If so, just what can spirit teach us? Welcome to School Through Spirit. Host DeEtte Ranae is a certified psychic medium and master teacher of psychic and mediumship development through LWISSD. DeEtte was born knowing spirit and now is here to help you better understand the spirit world. And now your host, DeEtte Ranae.
Hey everybody, welcome. This is DeEtte Ranae here on School Through Spirit with WLTK-DB.com, and I am here to bring through a show that we have been doing for like over 2 years now. This show is where I explore different people's lives, their realities of how spirituality has affected them, whether they be modalities or spirit themselves. Now, we do explore their lives and just how that has affected them or changed their lives and what they did with it. Now, I do begin the conversations of the day with conversations that, I'm sorry, I'm all discombobulated this morning, but I do explore what some spirit has given me this morning, which is really what is discombobulating me. And then I go on to my guest. Now, my guest this week is David Schwerin. He's going to help us with pronunciation because we all know how I suck with this. So, and I'm also reading what Stephanie Lynn put on, which, Stephanie is awesome. Stephanie comes in and puts up things in the comments for us to share everything that's going on in my life. And today she said, I asked DeEtte if there was anything else she wanted me to share with y'all. And she said, yes, you need to smile today. Very large, very bright, because you're beautiful. And that is very, very true. But I do want to talk about what is on my mind, what's discombobulating me. Because, I do wake up. Well, actually, I started it yesterday. And then, of course, what spirit wanted to tell me. And they didn't seem to be saying anything. And then this morning, I was like, Spirit, what do you want me to talk about? And they really didn't say anything. And then literally 15 minutes ago, not if that, even 15 minutes ago, I was obviously watching Facebook on my phone here. And they were it really discombobulated me because it was some clip of some TV show. Don't even ask me which one. I really have no clue. One of the medical ones. I don't know. And it had all funny voices, so obviously they weren't sharing it with permission, so they had to change something. But they were showing an episode in this where, the mom and the daughter, and the mom's had a car accident. She's all frustrated with the daughter because she thinks the daughter's just mirroring everything she's got to say. And it came down to there was a syndrome for it. And I'm not sure if it's a real syndrome or a made up one, probably for TV, but it was like a mirroring syndrome, an issue, a medical issue. And I was like, wait a second. Technically, she'd be like a medical intuitive. And it really kind of pained me, not for the issue, not so much for the issue, but because I wasn't seeing reality for what reality was in the last 24 hours. And I say, I'm really about reality and everybody's realities, but it really just kind of brought it to light. Good morning, Miss Jamie. But what it brought to light was, as I'm watching this episode on there, I'm blown away. I'm blown away by, damn, this girl's better than I am. But at the same time, she doesn't have any, good morning, Tim. She doesn't have any control of it. And it was cool how they were teaching her control. And I thought, wow, that's, they really, even though on TV they're making it a condition because it is a medical show, they were doing this huge episode really on reality of spirituality. Good morning, Miss Anne. Oh my God, you're up early, darling. And I think about you every morning. Don't ask me why. I really do. I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if Annie's up already. Anyway, it really blew me away that on this TV program, and I wish I'd seen the name of it, how they were bringing up a spiritual concept. Granted, yes, they made it into a syndrome. Yes, they made it an issue, blah, blah, blah. But I'll say it's not an issue if you have control. But it was really cool because they were teaching this little girl how to, and it was a psychologist, but how to imagine a golden cylinder around her and that nobody else's feelings can get in and whatnot. And I thought, that is so cool. That is just so cool. Why? Because literally they took something I do, I teach, my passion. I mean, oh my God, anybody knows me. Medical intuitive is just a passion for me, and empaths and all that. But they made it more of a mainstream reality. And yes, people are going to look at it like it's a condition, blah, blah, blah. And I don't want to look at the negativity of it. I really want to look at the positivity of it. But then it made me look over the last 24 hours. I thought, wow, spirit's been nailing me pretty hard with this. Spirit's been probably even longer. Spirit's been nailing me with this because it's looking at the reality of situations. It's looking at what you might think is the obvious and not seeing what it is, not seeing it. So how does that relate to the show that I see? Yeah, we got the obvious of, they're showing something spiritual on TV, which is super cool. But you know what? The mother wasn't seeing the little girl. The school wasn't seeing the little girl. They weren't seeing that when she was in frustrated situations, she was becoming frustrated. The mom wasn't seeing that, oh my God, her head hurt because it's head injury. The little girl's complaining of severe headache and head pain. She wasn't realizing, oh my God, I got this ulcer from stress and I'm just screaming at the pain. She wasn't recognizing the little girl was not complaining about the ulcer. And it took a third party in there to see it. Now, it's really funny because these are also things I've been having issues with. Okay. Not with the medical intuitive, but other things in life. And it's funny because I've been looking at, gosh, am I really a success at what am I doing? Should I go back to nursing? Oh, God forbid, go back to nursing. But not that it's a bad career, guys. It's just not necessarily something I enjoy anymore. And I've been thinking of all those wonderful things because you know what? It's been slow. It's been, not, good morning, Miss Deidre. It hasn't been like it normally is. So it's been slower. It's been harder. It's been, what to eat some days. Sometimes you're like, should I even do it? And I'm not complaining, but sometimes you're in that position where you're just going, what the hell, And all of a sudden, it's almost like devil's advocate. People are looking at you, go, maybe you should go back and get to doing this, or maybe you should go back to doing this, or maybe you should do something else. And I'm not seeing the obvious. I'm just not seeing the obvious. And of course, everybody's got their own opinion. And then I literally went to a run fair yesterday. I went to a run fair. And of course, in a run fair, I don't know if y'all have been to one. It's kind of like going to a Halloween costume of legitimacy. To me, it's legitimacy because you go in and it's just so beautiful to see everybody in garb. It's really beautiful. And I had more people look at me yesterday going, wow, you should be in this time period. And I wasn't out lavish. I didn't have my breasts hanging out. I wasn't doing all of that, even though a lot of that is part of the era. I had a simple crown on my head that was made of citrine. I actually bought the crown last weekend. I think a few of you have seen it or a picture of it. I had that on. I had simple dress. I had, just very simple. Everything was simple. And everybody looked at me like, that's exactly what a queen would have looked like back in the age. Now, I'm not talking the big Victorian dress and blah, 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 but one of, maybe a little bit further back, somebody that was just, a queen or a goddess or somebody of nobility in some fashion. And I thought, wow, God, are they all looped? Are they all looped? Are they all wrong? Or what is, they're all just crazy in the head, or they're all just trying to be complimentary or whatever it is. But it really took me until this morning to realize what maybe they were talking about. And the way I look at it, at least. And it's a reality of who you are. It's a reality of how you bring yourself on. It's a reality of seeing yourself as you truly are. And how this all really came together, because I know it sounds like I'm all over the place and I'm talking about 3 different situations, but really, they really come together as one. Because even a friend of me and I were talking this morning, and it really kind of cinched it all together. I know you do. Oh my God, I thought about you all day yesterday, Ani. Like, I need to be with Ani at Renaissance Festival. Like, it'd be so much fun. But we were sitting there talking about this, and we're talking about finances, and if you feel like you're making it, if you feel you're bringing enough money. I mean, the whole genre, and anybody that's self-employed, unless you've got like 6 figures in the bank, you really do look at these things. And I simply told her, you know what I mean? Look at your profits in over the last 6 months since, or since the first of the year. And then project what you potentially could make over the next 6 months by staying your course and putting yourself a little further out there. And great advice, guys, great advice. I give it to everybody. You know what I mean? But I went, wait a second. You haven't been doing that with yourself at all, on any level, on any level. So I did that. And I went, wait a second, I'm not a failure. I'm looking at myself in a different manner. I'm not looking at myself of the reality. I'm not looking at what really is there. I'm looking at a fantasy of something I want versus a reality of what things are. And I thought, you know what, that's really good advice to live by. And then I looked at the course over the last, just 24 hours. And I went, you know what? Yeah, I was at a run fair. And yeah, I was, in garb. But I didn't have to go a far stretch to be who I really was. I didn't have to do this whole big carpeted Victorian, um, curtain material on my body and sweat my balls off to be the essence of truly who I was coming out, the essence of who I truly was. And trust me, guys, it was just a simple citrine crown of abundance because that's a lot of what citrine is. It was a simple garb, simple pins that brought a little bit of my love with me. And it blew me away of the attention that I was receiving because I simply just pulled my hair back into a small makeshift bun back here with just some pins in it, nothing fancy, nothing over the top. I was letting my true essence out. I was letting the reality of who I was out. And everybody going, "Oh my God, you don't look like you're made up. You look like this is you." And it blew me away today because I went, "Wait a second." People were seeing the real me. I was allowing the real me to come out. I was letting this part of me come out. The facade was not there of what we like to put on ourselves, you know? And then I had to look over the last few weeks where I have been just kind of struggling. And I will tell you what, this is the leaps and bounds I've gone to in the last few weeks, guys. This is seriously, I mean, think about a mental condition. I think I've had one because I have put every single block on me, every single everything on me. I think I even brought a unwanted spirit into the house that was just going to drain me. And over the last couple of weeks, I've had a fabulous friend doing a lot of emotional code on me to release these strings, these things. I have she's also does beautiful clearing work. And if you don't know, her name's Ellie. Oh my God, when she comes on her, you'll love her. She does beautiful work. Um, but to cut all those cords of all these feelings I've had. I have gone through hypnosis to go into past life to release some of the unreality of things. Yes, they are real in my life, but unreality of things that go, oh my God, that stop me from life. Okay. Per se, I've been being told by spirit for years, not days, not weeks, not months, years, at least since 2014, 8 years or better, that I have a book that I have to write. Now, this isn't, oh, I'm being called. No, it's about my life, but my life is very much one of movies that a lot of people can really could could heal from, recognize themselves from. Thank you for putting Ellie up there, Steph. And I will tell you what, I failed to do it. And I have outlined it. Spirit has given it to me word for word. They have shown me different ways to do it, different ways to do this, and I still fail to do it. Why? Because I don't know a reality of not knowing who I am. And not feeling within myself, and not a belief within myself, and not knowing and believing in me is what it comes down to. So through that hypnosis, I went, you know what? This is what I said. I need to go in for procrastination because I really thought this was a like I'm procrastinating. And she went, no, you're hiding. You know what? She's like, you're hiding. You're hiding who you are. You're hiding everything about you. You're hiding the reality of who you are. You don't want the world to see it. Let's go find that issue. And I went, okay, let's go find that. I thought she was wrong. I'll tell you what. I love Deb. Y'all know Deb Razel. I brought her on my show. I send so many people to her for hypnosis. And I was looking at this woman I fully believe in and thinking to myself, she's full of shit. She's wrong. But you know what? Let's play her game. We'll prove it to her in hypnosis that she's wrong. Yeah, proved I was wrong. Because when she took me back through hiding, she took me back on that idea of hiding. Okay. And it was really really different because through this journey, we found multiple lifetimes at 8 years old. I went into a hiding syndrome, a hiding me, a hiding my light, a hiding behind somebody else, a hiding behind a bonnet or hiding my face some way. Always being dutiful, always being told what to do, never seeing myself for who I am. So she kept taking me back until we finally found a lifetime. And honestly, guys, I was in Rome, which is really mind blowing that I was in Rome and I seen it. It was so cool. And I was a boy, not this time of 8, but of 12. And even she said, I think it's because you were a taller child. So you were feeling like you were 12, but she goes, I feel you're probably 8. I said, okay, whatever. And she goes, in this lifetime, I could see destruction all around me. I could see a war happening. I mean, I seen buildings of stone coming down and loss of my family. And I was always hiding to keep myself safe. And through the efforts and the knowledge of everything going on, I grew up to be a writer of sorts. Okay, a writer of sorts, speaking truth to many people. And I got the attention of people that didn't want that truth out. And then I was punished. And she asked, how are you punished? Were you enslaved? Were you in jail? I said, no. They cut off my hand. They simply cut off my hand. That was my punishment for speaking truth. So she took me further in my lifetime, in that lifetime, and found that my hand had healed. And she asked, what do you do? And I said, I've learned how to adapt and to work in the fields. And she said, do you speak your truth? And I said, no. No, no, no. She goes, what do you do? I said, I wait for death. I wait for death. Because I was hiding who I was. And I couldn't accept the reality of who I was. And I've spent lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, even in multiple lifetimes, I've gained wisdom through spirituality. I've gained knowledge, whether it been being Wiccan, being, Wiccan witch, whether being a healer, whether being this, whether being that, it all came to this rotation of hiding. And it was so funny because after all that realization and all this amazingness, I went and got a palm reading yesterday at the Renfield, and I've gone and seen her last year. I went and seen her this year. Her name is Lady Leslie. Oh my God, she's amazing. Sorry, you guys, you can't see her unless you see her on the private duty because she is retired from the Renfields. But last year she read my hands and she said, oh my God, so drastic change. This is your left hand is what you're given at birth. Your right hand is what you have changed your life into. And she goes, so many people's hands are the same. She goes, yours are not. You took a life that you came into that you were going to be a follower. And that's when I was born. I was going to be a follower. I was going to hide my presence. I was going to hide who I was. Yet again, I was going to follow the same path I have in multiple lifetimes. But over the course of the year, since last year, she told me my hand had changed. The right hand had changed. And she said it was so crazy because I was becoming a leader. I was becoming somebody that was showing people the way to be. I was starting to speak truth. And she said it was insane to see that difference within the two hands. She goes, it's a rarity. And I went, oh, okay. Didn't know why. Kind of contributed to my working at Famous Days. You know what I mean? I was a complete bitch when I was there because I was in a massive unhealthy feeling in my life, but I grew. And through doing that, this is what's happened over the last year. Now, she's seen a lot in these hands last year, but there was a lot she didn't see. And this year I sat down and she said the same thing about the hands. And then she looked at me and I'm not shitting you, in this hand, she's seen so much growth of spirituality. She's seen past. She's seen a leader. She's seen somebody that was out. She's seen somebody that spirit was coming into all the time. It was incredible, all that she's seen. And she said, it's weird because it didn't start until right here. And I'm like, well, what the hell's right there? And she's like, this is when you started your life. And she said it's only been recently that you started to come out as to who you really were. She said, you're no longer hiding. And I went, whoa, the reality of me is coming out. Who I am is coming out. And she just thought it was so beautiful. And I only put D in there. I didn't say DeEtte. And she looked at me and she goes, oh my God, you're DeEtte. And I went, not that she knew me, guys, but for some reason she remembered me from last year. Not from Facebook, not from anything like that, but remembered me from last year. And it was so cool. She goes, I was hoping I'd get to see you this year before I left. She goes, because I thought your journey within your hands was incredible. She goes, but to see the difference in one hand over 1 year of fighting me, fighting my reality of who I was, and allowing myself to come out and allowing myself to blossom and grow and look at myself for who I was and to always speak my truth. What has changed within my life? I've actually changed my hand because trust me, a lot of these lines weren't there. And I even looked at her, I said, "That's just because I'm getting old." And she said, "Lines on the hand don't change because you're old." And she remembered she never seen any of that last year. On this hand, she never seen I was a healer last year. On this hand, she didn't see I was a medium last year. But on this year, that's all she did was scream at me, "That's what I am." And she said that I was finally seeing me for me. And I was like, "Well, that's pretty cool." And it really kind of radiated what the whole day was about. And I had to look at it because I will tell you what had happened after that because I was scared because nobody booked a reading in a couple of weeks. I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on? Did I lose my mojo? Am I not supposed to do that?" I mean, all of those questions we have, like, "Oh my God, the seas have dried up in mediumship and I'm done." And instantly my phone started going ding, 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 3 readings booked. And I went, whoa, because I was starting to acknowledge who I am. I stopped blocking who I am. I stopped second guessing who I am. And I stopped second guessing the reality of this. And I started to realize that, wait a second, sometimes you have to look at stuff right in front of you and realize what it is and not deny what it is. And that's really hard, I think, for a lot of us. A lot of us like to look at our self-worth. We like to look at other people, and we don't realize that you will bring people around you that you are. Good morning, Miss Sherry. You see people around you. Okay, they are in your life because they're mirroring part of you. I will sit down and I would talk to people that I know a lot of people are my students that are now my friends. I consider these amazing people. And they'll talk about this one, that one, this one. I'll be like, yeah. And they're like, "You got such a diverse crew. How'd that happen?" I said, "Because each one of them is a part of me. Each one of them is a reflection of some part of my life." And it blows me away because in each one of them, especially my students, I see such growth. And I go, wow, they're a reflection of me. This isn't because I just gave them tools. Trust me, they do the work. It's not like I have a magic wand and go, poof, you're now this. Because trust me, it doesn't work that way. I give them tools. What they do with it is what they do with it. And I see some that struggle and I see some that flourish and I see some that go, whatever. And then I see some that get arrogant and think that, oh my God, they can cure the world now in 2 lessons. And trust me, I've been that person too. But it's obvious of the reflection that's around me, and it's mind-blowing because when you open up your eyes and you see the reality of that because for this girl that says, "Oh my God, I'm not worth it," and, "Oh my God, I live in poverty," and, "Oh my God, all these things," and blah, blah, blah. I'm also the girl that just said, "The people around me are the reflection of me and some part of me." I equally have impoverished friends, and I have friends that are multimillionaires that literally sit with presidents on their couches, talking to their wives throughout history. Flipping fabulous. Because some part of that person is mirrored in me also. And I have to look at the realization that these people are my friends just because I am poor, poor, pitiful me. It's because they see themselves in me also. And they see that glory that I may not see. So we have to start when we wake up in the mornings, guys, and we need to look at this because it's hard. It's hard to wake up, look in the mirror, and realize how amazing you are, your contributions to the world. It's hard to see ourselves for who we are. It really is. So then I want you to take a moment and I want to have you look around at your friends. I want you to look at the people that you sit throughout the day and have random conversations. And when they walk away and you go, "Oh my God, they're amazing. I love them. What a beautiful honor that I got to sit here and talk to them or meet them." Realize that that person's also a mirror of you. And you are that amazing and you are that awesome. And they're equally as happy that they got to sit there for 5 minutes and speak with you. And you're going to be blown away by that. But start looking at the reality of things, the reality of it. See yourself for who you are. See the obvious and allow yourself to be that person. So if you're a person sitting in depression because of whatever in this life is pulling you down to that point and you're feeling not worthy, I want you to look at the people that are telling you how much they love you and how much they're in your life. And I want you to see the beauty of you in them because it's truly what it is. And that's really hard to look at. It almost feels impossible some days if you think about it. But it's completely and totally amazing when you allow yourself to have that. Now, this is my lecture for the day, and this is my lecture for the week, and it's really something I want you to work on, okay? It's something I want you to work on. I want you to look at yourself. I want you to look at your glory. I want you to see yourself through the eyes of other people. And you're going to find how many people look at you and just go, holy shit, what an incredible person, because you truly are. But look at the reality of that, because it's hard. And if you're like me, just think of somebody in history and dress up as them. Dress up as them and look in the mirror. You just might see how amazing you truly are. Okay? So that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and we come back, we're going to bring in David. So this is DeEtte Ranae on School Through Spirit with WLTK-DB.com. I'll see you in a few.
Want to see your video here? Sponsor WLTK-DB Talk Radio and watch us make that happen. With your paid sponsorship of $80, you receive a professional produced audio, video, and banner placement on our station. Not only does your sponsorship air during our live shows, but also replayed on our podcast and heard by hundreds of like-minded people. Visit WLTK-DB.com to get started and find out just how hard we work to get you noticed. The station mobile app is finally here and ready for you to download free. With the app, you can listen to past shows, view upcoming live shows, read our blog, and even shop. Get yours today at the App Store and Google Play under WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Stay connected and informed. WLTK-DB Talk Radio mobile app. It's yours. Go get it.
Hello, welcome back to School Through Spirit with DeEtte Ranae here on WLTK-DB. I want to tell you a little bit about my guest today. His name is David Schwerin. He's going to have to pronounce it correctly for you guys, but he is the author of 3 books and dozens of articles published worldwide. His latest book, co-authored with Diana Muenz Chen, Know Your Soul, Bring Joy to Your Life, was published in the late 2019. David has studied with 2 international mystery schools for over 40 years and has received specific guidance from his higher self and soul for more than 25 years. This guidance has enabled David to introduce various ideas to China, where he has received numerous honors for his work, including being named a visiting professor at several universities, the Hebei Counselor Association, and honorary director of the Corporate Responsibility Research Center at Suzhou University of Social Science and Technology. David has given scores of presentations and media interviews to audience in the US, China, and India. David has also appeared on numerous podcasts and radio shows and has been a regular contributor to the Times of India's Speaking Tree blog, one of the largest spiritual blogs in the world with over 1 million subscribers. With that being said, oh my gosh, let's bring in David. Hi, David.
Hi, how you doing?
Wonderful. Did I totally massacre your last name?
Not any worse than anybody else.
That's what I say about my first name.
It's pronounced Schwerin.
Schwerin, thank you.
Yes, sure.
Thank you. So hi, thank you so much for coming in and visiting with me today.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. So can you tell everybody a little bit more about you than just your bio and kind of how you got started on this journey?
Sure. So I guess it's hard to know exactly where I started the journey, but probably 40 years ago. But more recently, let's say 30 years ago, I went to see a healer who at the time I didn't know what a healer was.
Hmm.
And I had some family problems that led me to make that decision. And the healer started to channel information to me when I was in her room.
Okay.
And over time, in the next year or two, I kept doing it because I kept being drawn back because it was such wonderful information that I had a lot of confidence in the information. And I was then led through a series of different people, different healers, um, uh, to finally go to a healer who worked with me in the healing process, but also did channeling. And she all of a sudden said, "It's time for you to write your book." I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. Um, I had no plans to write a book, but in any case, make a long story short, I did write a book. It was
Okay.
called Conscious Capitalism, and it was published in 1998. And it went from the U.S. where it was published. It was picked up in China,
Okay.
and I had no idea why that happened or anything about it. But I subsequently did find out why. But uh, the book was published there, and I was invited to go there and speak. And it was a little bit nerve-wracking because I'd never been to China and I didn't know what to expect. And but it was the start of an adventure. And
Okay.
um, about the same time, I'll skip back and forth because these overlap. About the same time, I was working with a healer in New York City who also did channeling, and she encouraged me to learn how to channel. And again, it wasn't something I was prepared for or planned to do, but I started the process and uh, spent some time in New York learning the process, and then was introduced to her higher self
Oh,
uh,
okay.
that she channeled. And so that began what's now been almost a 25-year process of
Wow.
monthly sessions with um, Diana's higher self. Diana happens to be my co-author of my most recent book, Know Your Soul. So I, I was again drawn to the wonderful information I was getting, and continued to the process of a monthly session that was all tape recorded, um, where I would essentially ask uh, Diana's higher self any question I wanted,
Hmm.
and got a truthful, straight up answer, and it was wonderful. I loved it, and I learned a lot, obviously,
Right.
and so that process has continued. Now I got a lot of uh, guidance for how I should present my books. For instance, I went the first trip in China. Um, I asked for guidance as to what I should talk about, and they gave me some good information about that. Um, Quite honestly, what they told me was talk about the power of intention,
Hmm.
and I don't exactly know why they told me that, but I did my best. And I've had some wonderful opportunities in China to meet everybody from, man on the street to highest level executives and political leaders. And my book, the first book, Conscious Capitalism, was widely dispersed and has now become pretty commonplace in China. They follow the principles and
That
not
says a lot.
exactly. Excuse me.
I said that says a lot.
Yeah, it shocked me when I first went there. I didn't know how they would receive the idea of capitalism. I didn't know how they would respond to anything I said. But it was all part of the process. And I'll just jump ahead a second. I did learn a year or two later why this whole thing was transpiring, because I was bewildered. Why was I in China, and why was I doing this, and what was the purpose behind it? Why me? And it turns out I've had a past life in China.
Oh,
And,
okay. I
and it
was
was
asking the same thing in my head. How'd you get to China?
okay. And I didn't know this. It didn't tell me this till a couple of years down the road. But apparently, I had been in China. I've been an incarnation in China, and I tried to introduce some ideas at that time, supposedly, and I didn't do a very good job of it. I tried to force some of my ideas, which never works, especially in a country like China.
Right.
And so I'm now being given a second chance to do this over and do it better. And so that's the reasoning behind it.
That's too
Uh,
cool.
so I continue to work in China. I've been there now 9 times, and spoken to many audiences from highest level to, just as I said, the man on the street, and have really gotten a good sense of the people. Not the political leaders, but the everyday Chinese. They're very welcoming, very open, and very interested. Not all of them, but a lot of them are interested in spiritual stuff.
Okay.
So I introduced this conscious capitalism, or what was at the time called social responsible business.
Mm-hmm.
It's now called ESG, for environmental, government, and get the other one, LS, social, different aspects of life and of business that more and more people are trying to incorporate into their business plans.
Mm-hmm.
So I continued this process. I said I went there 9 times, and each time a different theme, a different experience. And somehow, when I first would start on the trip, I'd have no idea what was going to take place, and it all worked out. And eventually, I got it. This is not my thing. This is something that's being overseen for me, and so everything just works out. And I guess the next interesting. Well, in 2010, I had a session with with Diana's higher self, and she at that time she told me, "You're going to do something that's a little bit unusual. You're going to have a reincarnation in the same body."
Oh,
So I had no idea what that was,
yeah.
and this is a process where you dissolve your old stuff, your old energy system,
Okay.
and a new one is built. And the reason for it was, they said, well, you had completed your initial task, and it was time for something new. And now, while this is somewhat unusual, it's something that is going to happen more and more,
Mm-hmm.
because there's no reason for people to have to leave their body and then come back to the body if
Okay.
they can do it all in one trip, so to
Okay.
speak.
Yeah. I like that.
And so this is something that will become more commonplace as we move forward.
So do you feel that with that being said that lifespans will be longer then, or?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Um, and they're already getting longer,
Yeah.
just naturally. But
The bodies aren't keeping up to it though.
I know there are some entities in this universe that have lifespans in the hundreds of years, 300-400 years. So I suspect that it'll happen with us too. So anyway, where was I? So I went through this reincarnation, same process. It took about 2 years to complete, and every step of the way, I was given guidance as to what were the next steps, and what was going to happen, and how I'd be affected physically, and I write about this in my soul book, Know Your Soul, Bring Joy to Your Life. I write about this experience and what's entailed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's it's something that people should at least be aware of, because even if they don't go through it, it could be one of their friends who goes through it, and they want to know about that.
Right.
And so the next big thing probably that I can think of that happened was I was taking a course, a channel course from Archangel Michael, and this lasted for a few years before anything happened, but then eventually he asked both Diana, the channeler, and me if we would write a book about the soul.
Okay.
So I had some questions about it, but I figured if I'm being asked to do it, I'll go ahead and try it. And so we were given information, given material to write about, and I brought in other material from other sources, and over a period of a relatively short time, because it's a small book, but it has a lot. It's pretty dense. It has a lot of good material in it, and over a period of a year or a little bit more, we produced the book, published it, and are now in the process of promoting it. And as I say, it's a good book for anyone who's interested in this sort of thing.
Yeah. I just put it up on the screen because I can't wait to buy it personally. So.
Well, okay, and so that was the next phase, I suppose, was this book publishing, and I continue to go back to China, continue to get guidance as to what would be a good idea, what would some good ideas to help the Chinese people,
Mm-hmm.
and as I say, they were very receptive. Now, again, some of them, not all of them,
Right.
very receptive to spiritual ideas. So I decided, since I was following a spiritual path at the time called Pathwork, that I would see if that could be introduced to China, if there would be any receptivity for it. And it was slow going. First of all, it's not like here where you can broadcast something and say, hey, I'm offering this course if anyone's interested. You have to be a little more discreet. It's not something that the government promotes or is anxious to see happen. Although, I didn't have any real problem with the government from that standpoint. So we eventually found people who were interested in this spiritual subjects. Some of them already far advanced in other modalities. And so we're in the process now of introducing and implementing some of the ideas in this. This is a now just so you know, the Pathwork is a 2,500 pages of material that were channeled in the 50s.
Okay.
And it's very, obviously it's in depth and covers a wide variety of material, and is very, very. I have found it, as well as many others. It's an international in scope, and I have found it to be very helpful to understand yourself and understand the world, and so because it is of that type of material, it appealed to the Chinese. Again, some of them, not all of them. And so I've been in the process with some other people of introducing this idea and seeing where it goes. It's been a long process, at least long in some respects, but
Right.
but it's been very rewarding, and that's where I am right now. We've been introduced to social responsible business and the spiritual stuff, and get now trying to get my book, this book, Know Your Soul, out there.
It's wow. It sounds like you have had just this huge life, this huge life that I'm just in awe because of the fact that things came in and you just followed the direction, of that. How did you ever, because I know for myself, I've been as we all know, you're on this journey for life, but sometimes when you start to become consciously aware of it, sometimes it becomes harder. You know what I mean? So how did you get from making it that hard thing to going, I'm just going to listen. I'm just going to follow this direction.
Well, one of the main tenets of most spiritual paths, I suppose, is surrender
Hmm.
and accept. And that's not easy, for sure. I mean, it's certainly not easy for me, but to the extent that I could do it and did it, the whole process became much easier. As is, most people will tell you, or most gurus will tell you, if you surrender to what you're being led, to where you're being led, things go much easier. And at the first, it doesn't seem that way many times, but that in fact is the truth. That's what I've experienced anyway.
Right.
To accept it and go with it.
I think that's beautiful because I honestly think that I know myself as a teacher, I tell people that all the time. And they always come back and they look at me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is happening." And within my own self, I'm like, "No, it's not. No, it's," you know what I mean? It's like, but then to look at somebody like yourself that really has done some incredible things and taken it to another level, it just shows that that really is how it works, which is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, somebody has a question that do you ever fear your safety bringing in new ideas to other religions, such as China or someplace else?
Well, I can't swear that I never was a little fearful. I certainly was fearful the first time I went there, um, uh, and spoke to what's called the Communist Party School. Excuse me, and the campus of the school. Uh, Soldiers with machine guns were walking around.
Hmm.
Um, and so there have and there have been other experiences I've had in China that were fearful. Now, I have been told that Archangel Michael went with me,
Oh,
and
okay.
and uh, I don't see him, so I can't say that for sure. But
Right.
everything worked out well. So for
Beautiful.
whatever reason, it was much easier than I might have thought before I went.
Right.
And,
which I think is incredible because when I'm looking at it, I don't before you came on, I was speaking about a past life that I just, seen it under hypnotist last week of having that past life and having that fear of going back, of
Mhm.
bridging coming over that, you know.
Right.
So with that, did you know about that past life prior or was it until after the fact?
Was after the fact.
Okay.
I suppose I suppose that was, very purposeful that they didn't tell me about it until not after the fact, but after I'd done it for a number of trips, 3 or 4
Oh,
trips. Then is when they told me why I am doing this and the big picture. Because
right.
at that point, up till then, I used to walk crossing the street in Beijing. I said, "No, why the hell am I doing this? Why am I here?"
Right.
It made no sense to me. And finally, when they told me, okay, now that makes some sense. It's still a little crazy, but it makes some sense.
I'll tell you what, for my own journey, listening to yours and the past life of China and going back to kind of finish after hearing about mine, I'm hoping I get to go to Rome and start educating people. I mean, like, let's
Yeah, might as
go.
well pick out a good place.
You know what I mean? Well, my past, I'll tell you, as you know, when you go into hypnotism, you remember it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, the fear I felt was like in hiding and bricks falling around me. And I'm like, no, but still incredible,
Yeah.
incredible. So
Uh,
how did you, two things are going through my mind right now, especially with your journeys into China. And apparently it's with Stephanie's question also. You have China that we see it in two different ways. We see it as that structure of force and machine guns and scary, but we also see the very spiritual nature. We see them. How do you see that coming together over there or through your own education? Because as you and I both understand, things happen for a reason. Evolution happens. So how do you
mhm.
see that coming over there?
Well, the first thing is to understand they're human beings just like we are.
Mhm.
They have the same fears, same desires, and so the people are no different than we are. They have the family life. Now that they have, because China has a very strict rule, they have some restrictions as to what they can do.
Mhm.
Some of them rebel against it, some of them don't. Um, but uh, you know, I, I've now been to probably 50 countries, and you know, the more and more I see, the more and more I realize that we're all the same, and of course we all know that. But when you really see it up close, you have much more appreciation for both the conditions that they live in and for um, the struggles that they have, which are just like the struggles some of us have in different ways.
Right.
Um, so everyone says in the spiritual path we're all one, but then we
Mhm.
forget about that.
We
You
do,
know,
don't we?
we're all one, but China isn't. Or Indonesia or Italy or whatever. I mean,
Poor China gets blamed for a lot of things, don't they?
yeah. So there's only one of us, so and it takes on many costumes and have many traditions, and all of them are different, and we learn from all of them.
Mhm. So, with all your travels through all the different countries, are you doing this to spread education or is it to more journey and enjoy the scenery?
It's both. It's both.
Both?
Uh, I went to India, for instance, and to give some talks,
Mhm.
and I ended up uh, uh, not only giving the talks, but being asked to write for the Times of India, which is a very large English-speaking newspaper,
Right.
and they have a section called Speaking Tree, which is spiritual topics completely. Um, And so, you know, I've gotten to know some of the people in India in that way.
Yeah.
So the whole journey for all of us is to not only to understand ourselves, but to understand other people and realize that there's, you know, the colors may be different and some of the features and religions, etc., but we're all the same.
Right. I think that's incredible. Um, because I'm just envisioning what your life has been, you know, going to all these incredible places. And I do look at them as all as very incredible, whether they're third world countries or, you know, you've got, you know, England and Buckingham Palace. It's all really on the same wavelength.
Hmm.
But I want to join that with the path work you did with your life.
Hmm.
Do you with the path work and your soul's journey, do you, because like some people just stay in the United States or stay in their country and they never go outside their city, whereas you've been all over the place. Do you feel that that's part of this journey of your growth and that's something your soul wanted?
I think so. I mean, clearly, I've been moved in that direction, and you know, the soul doesn't. You know, first of all, the soul doesn't care what you do because you'll learn from everything.
Right.
But it wants some experience. There are some experiences that it does desire, and it may well have been. You know, I haven't. I don't know this for a fact, but that the soul wanted me to expand my experience with other people, other, you know, other regions, and so this was. It would seem like this would be part of the soul journey,
Right.
and it's been wonderful. You know, I've learned a lot and enjoyed seeing a lot of different places.
Well, with seeing all those things, what has brought that into like with your knowledge, other than that just that we're all one? Um, Bringing all those different experiences into your own belief system, your spiritual belief system, or your personal belief system. What has that done? If I think I might have misconjobbled that question a little bit.
Well, I'm not sure I have a good answer. It, uh, you just realize how connected we all are, and how interdependent we all are,
Mhm.
and how any time that we do something that hurts another is only hurting ourselves.
I like that.
And so, you know, you think twice before you just do something by rote or, you know, automatically, and you um, it's almost like taking your fist and hitting your cheek.
Right.
Nobody in the right mind would do that.
Mhm.
And yet we go around and we hit other people all the time, and other people are us, you know,
Yeah.
and um, there are no strangers really. We're all part of one, and we have to treat each other that way, and that's part of the problem in this world today. Uh, we're going through this crisis because uh, we haven't we haven't matured enough to 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 see people as they really are, and recognize them as your brother or sister.
Mhm.
Uh, so we're learning maybe the hard way, but we're learning gradually, and that'll continue. You know, this crisis is to teach us a bunch of stuff, and um, it's something, you know, I think we're getting it. Not a lot of people, but some, but more and more people, and we have to just get to that critical mass, and I think then we'll be able to see the fruits of this effort, whereas
Hmm.
right now it's a little bit hidden and hard to see.
I couldn't agree with you more. Because as you're speaking, I'm just seeing even the pandemic itself.
Right.
It didn't hit one authenticity or ethnicity. It didn't hit male or female. It didn't hit gay or her heterosexual. It didn't singular out anybody or any culture.
Hmm.
It hit everybody as a whole. Everybody as
And
a
not,
whole.
not only that, but there are no borders that protect us against this.
No.
So um, we can't say, well, let's protect Americans because this virus will infiltrate and affect you, even if you put up borders, it'll work around them. And
Yeah.
then that's what it's here to teach us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because even if you look at different countries, and every country seemed to lock down a little tighter. But people,
Hmm.
unless you were watching, since you didn't realize that Italy locked down to their homes. I mean, literally, they couldn't walk into their own backyard, even
Hmm.
if they owned their backyard, and
Hmm.
it still attacked them. It
Yeah,
didn't matter.
yeah. And I suspect that this is possible. That China, who has a really strict lockdown policy,
Hmm.
uh,
They
that
do.
that 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 eventually may not work, and they'll have to. They want to hold on to that because it's what they started with, and they want to show that they can enforce it, type of thing. But I don't. I'm not so sure that it's going to work.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. But I don't even know why, Spirit told me to bring that up because I connect a lot when I'm asking my questions because I'm not a good interviewer. So I got to ask them what to ask. And when they stated that, it was like to show you how we are all one, no
Yeah.
matter what, no matter what, which I love.
Mhm.
Um, and I love the fact that part of your soul's journey, your path is literally to educate people,
Mhm.
just to educate and explore things and to kind of push the realm of that. Because I know
Right.
as you're speaking, I'm I'm seeing I love to travel. I love to go all over but to go to some countries, spirits like putting me on the edge of India, like, would you walk in? And I'm like, I feel hesitation. I'm hearing, but just do it. I'm feeling
Mhm.
hesitation, but just go because you're
Mhm.
there for a reason.
Right.
So um I'm like, wow, what an incredible journey, and who knows what your next path is. But I want to look more at your book. I know you talked a little bit, Know Your Soul, but
Mhm.
can you talk a little bit more about that book?
Sure. Sure. So it basically lays out the structure of the soul, um, and the soul, like us, is made of different parts, or
Mhm.
composed of different parts. And so it's in order, if you want to know yourself, you want to know all the parts that you consist of. Now, granted,
Mhm.
when you're in a body, a lot of the parts you don't see. Um, but anyway, so the idea is to first of all explain what the soul looks like and what the different it was composed of, and then to help people to connect to the soul. Archangel Michael has a passage in there where a meditation where he actually leads people to connect with their soul.
Okay.
Um, and then there are a lot of examples in there of experiences that I've had, and Diana, my co-author, has had, um, connecting to spirit and um, and learning certain lessons that we needed to learn. Um, One example that comes to mind, um, I think this is a good one. Are you familiar with pickleball?
I'm not, but I'm glad.
No.
I want to hear about it.
Uh, Pickleball is a racket sport.
Okay.
Um, it's a racket very similar to a tennis racket, and a court that's smaller than, but similar to a tennis racket, to a tennis court. Um, So I was playing one day, and there were three other people on the court, and a ball was hit behind me, and I went to try and retrieve it, and this is in the book, so that's why I'm bringing it up. And before I knew it, I really never knew it. I was crashing into a concrete wall behind me. It didn't make any sense because I could actually remember as I was going backwards, I want to stop
Right.
before the wall, and I couldn't. I literally couldn't stop. So I asked my guides. I said, "What happened here? You know, I don't understand." And what they told me was this was a joint activity of your soul and your body to teach you a lesson. As it turns out, I broke my wrist in several places.
Right.
There were a number of lessons in this particular episode that were important for me to learn. Receptivity is one. Because I've broken my hand, I have all of a sudden have to be much more receptive to people helping me.
Right.
And I'm better at giving than I am at receiving. We all have one that we're stronger at than the other, and I needed to learn that. So other things were that, you know, that there are no accidents and that this was purposeful. In other words,
Right.
I would have thought, I'm clumsy, and what did I do wrong to cause the accident? But in fact, what I'm told is this was not an accident. It was meaningful and purposeful. So these are the types of examples that I have in the book. And I go into more detail. I don't want to bore anybody with the details, but these are examples where I've had experiences that have been very meaningful to me, and I think would be very meaningful to others, not maybe to the same extent, but a lot they could learn from them. And just how the soul uses different experiences, whether it's accidents or it's illnesses or losing something or whatever it happens to be, as a way of helping the personality to become to learn something.
Okay. I love that. I love that because it's God, it's just incredible. It's incredible. Stephanie Lynn is asking, on your site, The Conscious Thinking, you discussed that the first level of reality is what you think exists. The second level of reality is what actually exists. And the third level of reality is what could exist. Pathwork Lecture 162. Now, how do you believe people can begin to unlayer the world and change the perspectives to see the actuality?
That's a good question, and not real simple to answer. We have to look at our beliefs, whatever they are, all of us, and see whether they're true. So the first level of reality is what you are used to thinking. Okay. Is that true? The first level of reality might be for someone the world's flat. Don't forget, it wasn't too long ago that people thought that. You know, and if you didn't think that, you were in a lot of trouble because you were laughed at and you were ridiculed. And so you got to look at what's my belief. We all have our world is flat belief somewhere.
Right.
And you have to look at that. And then you have to look at, well, what's the next level after that initial level? The initial level is usually what we've been conditioned to believe by our parents, our teachers, our peers, etc.
Okay.
And so we have to look at those things and find out, are they really true? And that's the purpose of this little quote, to get people to really hone in on their beliefs, because from our beliefs we have our behavior. If we believe something, then we start behaving that way.
Right.
And that's what's causing many of the problems in the world today, is that beliefs are, people are fixated on them, and they don't want to give them up, even if they don't make sense, or they're wrong, or they can see they're wrong. They hold on to them,
Right.
and they chastise anybody who has a different belief.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've all had different experiences. We've all had opportunities to learn different things, and we've had different traumas,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's going to affect how we think and how we believe. So you want to look at what is the truth here.
Right.
Is what I believe the truth is, and so these different layers we have to all get through, and to get to the core of what the actual truth is, and make sure that it resonates and it's right. And it'll be right. It'll be different for different people, because again, they've had different experiences and different history, and a history not only in this life but in past lives.
Mm-hmm.
And this all affects how they believe and how they act and what they think. And we got to get to the truth of things, so that and it's not just my truth or your truth, but it's what we can clearly see is accurate.
Right.
And I think if people would do that, too many people hold on to what they have and they don't want to let go of it. And that's what's causing a lot of the dissension in this world and a lot of the problems. If they can really look at them, and not everybody will be able to, but if they can look at them, this will help things move along.
And I think that you couldn't be more beautifully stated that, because at the end of the day, it is, I wanted to say, well, what is the core truth? What is the truth? But you know what? I am a firm believer that your core truth is basically your level of, I don't want to use the word maturity, but I think it really is probably the best word I can use out there to kind of simplify it. But it is a level of maturity. It is a level of growth. And you can have people that are like in their 80s going, well, wait a second, blah, blah, blah. But in all actuality, you can have a child come in and have a much more mature soul. It doesn't mean that they're an old soul. It just means that maybe in the lifetimes that souls had, they have experienced, and with that experience become a greater understanding that they brought into this lifetime, versus maybe the 80-year-old that had the same type of experiences, but maybe didn't get the understanding, didn't get the concept, and maybe they have to go through some more experiences to re-understand something.
Right.
So it does make a lot of sense of what that core truth might be. It's different.
And it'll be different for different people, and we all have to be tolerant of each other. Just because someone believes something differently, they've had different experiences, and it may rub you the wrong way, but have some tolerance and some humility, and we'll all get along a lot better.
Wouldn't we though? I think we're looking at Star Trek years, and I think we're already gotten to the first sec. We have to wait for the sequel, the third movie, to come out to get to that year bracket, I think.
Right.
I hate to say it, but it's some days I think it's just going to take us a few more generations to get to where we need to be, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's true, and what's the rush?
I explain that to people, and maybe you'd understand this, or maybe correct my way of thinking. But I was just explaining this to my mother not that long ago, just on, she was like, gosh, I wish things were different for the family. And I'm like, you know what? Grandma and Grandpa had this generational way of thinking, and you changed yours a little bit, and I've changed mine a little bit, and my daughter has, and my son, and their children. And I said, and unfortunately, we have to wait for the grandchildren start to set. We have to have your generation die off, so that a newer one can come about.
Right.
And they're not going to have it perfect. They're not going to have it 110% correct, but they will in turn You know, their way of thinking will be taught to others that'll come a different way of thinking, and it does take
Hmm.
generations.
Yep.
But the soul, if we got to where we needed to be right now, think of all the experiences our soul would not understand, would not have.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's true.
it's almost as if you know, when I teach, you know, the soul's all about love. It really is love. It's
Mm-hmm.
pure love. That's what they
Mm-hmm.
understand. We
Mm-hmm.
have to come here as a soul and really kind of create destruction all around us to experience things,
Yeah.
you know, and
Well,
it's, you know,
another way of
that's
looking at it, the
really
soul can't the soul can't experience destruction. I mean, that's not one of the experiences available to it in spirit.
Mhm.
So it needs the personality to get lost and experience it, so that they're you know, it's something that they now understand.
Yeah, and it's so funny because it's like when you look at the world, gosh, it seems like so much chaos right now, but it really is no different chaos than Roman times or,
Hmm.
you know, certain takeovers that you've seen in the world, certain destruction. I mean, it was just as horrendous back then as it is now.
It was bad all throughout our history.
Yeah,
We've had, because we're making mistakes. You know, that's
yeah,
part of how you learn,
yeah.
and so
It's
that's
incredible.
going to happen.
You know, and I always think, what do we do when we get on the other side? Do we go, "Ooh, what a great journey," or do we go, "Oh, we really messed it up again?" You know, it's like,
Some of each probably.
yeah, I think we need to have somebody go in there and write a book on what the souls talk about when we return.
I'd like to be a fly on the wall. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, we're gonna put that one on you, David. You know what I mean? To do some soul work on that and bring that book through because I think it'd be a bestseller. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So
a
what are
little
your
bit of.
planned trajectory? Huh?
I said a little bit of that is in the soul book.
Oh, beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because I've read some books on, especially from hypnotherapists or psychologists that do hypnotherapy, and they write a little bit on what happens when the soul returns. But
Uh-huh.
it's I want to hear the juicy details. I can't believe coffee is just a human experience. Not that I drink it, but you know what I mean. I believe they sit around on the other side with coffee, going, "Hey, let's chat."
Uh-huh.
Um, so where do you see your trajectory going at this point? I mean, with the book just being written, are you seeing just another lifetime of journeys and things ahead of you, or where do you feel you're going?
You know, to be honest with you, I don't know. I haven't been told. I've been told a few things, but we'll see whether they materialize or not. And but you know, it's pretty much a blank slate. I don't know. I guess my soul can determine that between lives or something, and um, you know, hopefully I'll be able to just go with it.
Yeah. Well, I like the fact that you were, I guess I'm going to form this in a question because I do feel, without doing the path work, acknowledge, you know, on a conscious level of seeing one way of dissipating, another one coming. I know in my old way of belief, my old way of thinking, I never seen I never seen a future. I never people could tell me a million things, but my belief was not there. You know, and you know, I was looking at okay, at 67 I'm retiring. At 68 I'll finally go to Mexico for the first time. You know, I mean, it was that thought belief system.
Hmm.
And I know that I've dissolved a lot of my previous beliefs. I feel I've got a long way to go, and I think we all do. Now, with this being said, with my own life, I'm sure you've had these aspects also. Do you believe you could go through another dissolving of a whole set of beliefs you have right now and present another soul growth to go through? Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
I don't honestly know. I mean, I'm sure there are beliefs I have that are inaccurate and need to be dissolved,
Mhm.
but I'm still caught in, I guess, in the place where I'm not aware of those beliefs.
Okay.
If I were aware of them, I would hopefully dissolve them. But it'll take me a little while to become aware of them, I suppose.
Is that a journey you'd even want to attempt at this point in life, or you're just like, okay, maybe the next lifetime?
I'm just leaving that to my soul.
Great answer.
Captain of my ship, and knows she sees the picture much better than I do, and so I just let whatever happens happen.
Beautiful. I love how you answered that, because it's so dynamically true. I know myself as a psychic and a medium, and I like to believe I'm pretty darn good at what I do. I'm never able to see my own future. I'm never able to see what tomorrow brings. And even when I do soul work and I jump up there and I go, hey, let's have a conversation, it never says, hey, this is what you're going to do next year. It's, I'll have feelings, but never know what tomorrow brings.
Right.
So with a little bit of time we have left, can you give like a quick lesson on how somebody to communicate with their soul, that higher self?
Well, the best way really is in our book, where there's a meditation specifically for that purpose, from Archangel Michael. So I mean, I suppose I could make a stab at it, but it's silly with when you have the expert there.
I think you are the expert, so you're not giving yourself credit.
Well, there are experts, and there are some that are more expert, and so I mean, there's a beautiful several-page meditation in the book that is specifically for that purpose, to connect to your soul. And I mean, I could read it, but that doesn't seem to make sense. People can easily find it, and it's ideal.
I love it. I love that. I like the fact that it's, yeah. We're gonna just tell people go the book, because I think it'd be amazing. Amazing. So if you had any words to give people of who might be struggling or not knowing where to turn, what are your words of wisdom?
Well, we're going through a difficult time. I think everybody knows that, and we'll get through it. That I have no doubt. And we all have a task that we brought in with us, and we need to focus on to not only to help ourselves, but to help others, to help the rest of humanity. So what I have found in my life, the more you contribute, the more you get, and the better you feel. So if you have a talent, a skill, or just an inkling that you want to do something, go for it. And the world is in a shape right now that requires that we all pitch in. There's none of these bystanders where we can say, well, I'll let them do it, or let the government do it, or let whatever. We all have to play our part. And if for no other reason, one easy area to focus on is the environment. The environment is hurting badly. And so if we can do something, just small things, and we all can do small things. I mean, one little thing that we did recently, my wife and I, got bamboo toilet paper, because I'm embarrassed to even mention it, but it's a little thing that everybody can do. So that it doesn't have to be recycled, and it can be used, not over again, but it can be used for a longer period of time. So just little things like that. We all can do them. We all have some skill and some talent, And we'll find that if we ever make a contribution, it will be paid back many times over.
That's beautifully stated. Beautiful. And hopefully people take that and run with that because it's beautifully stated. So how can people find you? How do they find David?
Well, I have a website, consciousthinking.com.
Okay.
And I think in the back of the book, there's an address that if people wanted to write to me. That's fine. I'll be happy to answer it.
Okay.
I think, I forget now if there is one, but I think there is. But on my website, you can contact me if you want to.
I love it. Thank you, David, so much for coming in and sharing your story and just bringing so much to so many people. You know, I appreciate it. You know, it's weird because I know I've read your bio. I always like to meet people in a very organic forum. So I don't do a lot of researching people beforehand. I know I probably should, but I don't, because I like to ask those same questions that I know my viewers are asking, you know, and I know if I have them in my mind, I'm going to research it to go, oh, what is this about? And then I fail to ask it here, you know? So I just think it's beautiful that a lot of the work I've done over the last week ended up being a lot of what you've talked about today. And I'm like, wow, it's mind blowing. So
Cool.
Totally mind blowing. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and all your knowledge. I so appreciate you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm very appreciative of your giving me the opportunity.
Beautiful. Everybody, we'll be back in a few moments with School Through Spirit with WLTK. Thank you again, David. We'll see you again sometime. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Sure. Bye-bye.
Would you like to be a part of something new, something different? Host a show with WLTK-DB Talk Radio and dare to be different. We offer full production and live engineering of your show by a real person, not a pesky computer. Just visit WLTK-DB.com and click pricing to get started. It's not as much as you think and a great way for you to get your message to the world. Better hurry. Slots fill up fast and you don't want to miss out on this excellent opportunity. Visit WLTK-DB.com and contact us for more information now. WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Paranormal talk is our business, and business is good. From its beginnings, Used was created to unleash the excellence of nature's healing powers and bring them to people everywhere. With almost 90 years in the market, they are considered a worldwide pioneer in complete herbal wellness therapy. All Swiss Used products are natural, essential oil-based, pleasant, and harmonious. They are extracted from plants and herbs with the latest technology to ensure the best results. Swiss Used Live Healthy with consultant Stephanie will guide you in the right direction to find the perfect essential products just for you. For example, have an upset tummy? Try our soothing chamomile that has not only been used by many, but trusted for years. Keep in mind, you just can't get these amazing oils at your local shopping center. They're just too special. For that, you need a connection. And that connection is Stephanie. Want some? Then head on over to Facebook and search Swiss Used Live Healthy. That's Swiss Used Live Healthy and contact Stephanie today.
Hello, welcome back to School Through Spirit with DeEtte Ranae here on WLTK-DB.com. We've had David on this morning. Gosh, he's got so much knowledge and so much growth. It just, to me, it's incredible. I could listen to him, I think, for hours or days just on everything that he does bring to the table. So I really do hope that y'all take a moment to go and check him out, check out his book. I put it into the comments, so there you go. But really, and path work. oh my gosh, you know what? I'm going to research more of the path work afterwards just to kind of see what it's about and kind of go there and see if I've been doing it on my own or if I need a little assistance. So either way here, guys, we are going to do our weekly spread here, our weekly reading on the cards. We are going to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, whatever number you want, or multiple numbers, whatever kind of trips your fancy. But it's what we're going to look at for the week, okay? So we are using Denise Lynn's Sacred Traveler cards. I'll show you the book. Pretty. I love Denise Lynn. You know what? I love it because there's a lot of great information in her cards. Sometimes the pictures are a little simpler. They're not as dynamic and as like Nature's Whispers cards, things of that nature, but still so dynamic. So we are going to pull them out. Card number 1. I think the cards are talking to me again because I always go, I'm going to take all, in my head, I go, I'm going to take all the cards. That's what I do. So for the first card is begin now. Take the first steps. I like this card because as you're looking at this card, this gentleman in this card has got his path. He's got his trajectory. He's waving goodbye. He is packed. He has said, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for me. And I do believe that's what it's about. So I want you to think, honestly, they're telling me for you to think about what has been going through your mind the last couple of hours, the last hour, the last couple of hours, the last couple of days, the last week, whatever it might be. And think about what it is that you've been kind of putting on the back burner. Okay, so what have you been putting in the back burner? So with that being said, time to bring it forward, time to get this down, okay? Do it now. Number 2, rejuvenating rain. Clear the past, heal the present. So from what I talked about this morning, is it starting to make sense for myself here? But let's see what it makes sense for you. So clearing that past and heal the present. I like this because we are looking at your past in this lifetime and past lifetimes. What is it that your soul is saying? You know what? We're sick of this shit. We're just sick of it. What do we need to do to heal? Okay. What do we need to do to heal? What do we need to do to make sense of things? Now, healing is not as easy as putting a Band-Aid on it, guys. It really isn't. It really is bringing in those memories, bringing in those thoughts, bringing in whatever and going, okay, I'm going to give it the attention it needs. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to see how it resonates with me now in this mature state, this wiser state that I'm in now versus where I was when, maybe things occurred. So right now you're looking at, what you need to heal to be able to move on. So heal it, let it go so you can move on to your future. Card number 3. Reaching your destiny. Your light is shining brightly. I love this. I love it's only third card in. So reaching your destination. Your light is shining brightly. I do love this card because when you're looking at this, you know what? This is Glenda all over again. You know what I mean? We're talking Wizard of Oz, a whole 10 yards, looking where you're going. But really, you've already gotten there. You've already gotten there. If you think, and they are showing me Wizard of Oz, and I think it's the bubbles that are making sense to me. But when you look at it, if you look at the movie The Wizard of Oz, it's such a dynamic show that's timeless, or movie that's timeless. It's never going to go anywhere. But you watch this whole journey. You see each one of them. Ask Glenda the good fairy, good witch, when she comes in her little bubble and it pops and there she is. And they go, oh my God, I want a heart and I want a brain and I want to go home and I want all these wonderful things. I want to be brave. Okay. And they get to the green dude, the wizard, and the Wizard of Oz, and he sends them on this crazy journey, just this crazy journey. And when they come back, he just gives them medals because they already had it. You've already reached your destination. You just don't realize you've reached it because you have not looked at yourself for who you are. So shine that bright light you've got and realize you're already at the destination. You've already made it. You just have, the journey isn't about if you're going to get there or not. It's realizing you already got there and the knowledge you had with that. Okay. Rainbow blessings. Blessings are showering your life right now for number 4. I like this because it is. Look around right now. Sometimes we feel like, oh my God, we're not making it. Oh my God, this isn't happening. But I want you to look around at all the blessings you really do have. With this, I feel like we're looking at gratitude journals also. So look in the morning when you first wake up and go, all the things you're blessed for. When you go to bed at night, say another, all the things you're blessed for, all the things that really have come into your life of your opportunities, okay? we are really blessed all the time. And I think you need to start realizing if you pick number 4, it's really looking at, oh my gosh, life truly is freaking amazing for yourself. You just have to open up your eyes to see it. Because even like with this, it's got this gorgeous rainbow there, doesn't it? Well, it doesn't show the storm that just happened 10 seconds before this rainbow appeared. Because you have to have the storm for the rainbow, don't we? But even within that storm comes much needed rain to allow things to grow. Okay? So if you pick number 4, time to open your eyes at the blessings you have. And the final one, number 5, choosing your path. All is possible. What an incredible card this is. Really, it really is. We all need to sit there as if, we're, I'm going to say 5, 6, 7 years old. Okay? Think about yourself at that point in life. Okay? When mom or dad asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you had a list of things you wanted to do. Everywhere from fairy to princess to the knight to the king to an astronaut to a firefighter to a doctor. And oh my God, the list was endless. And all those things are a possibility. And they still are in your life. You're never too old to change. You're never too old for the dynamics of just life. Okay? Don't believe that whatever course you're on, that you just stay that course, because you don't. In the words of David, your soul is constantly learning. It's constantly experiencing. It's constantly growing. And that's pretty cool. So know that all things are possible, okay? Number 1 was begin now, take your first steps. Number 2 was clear that path for the rejuvenation of rain. Number 3 is reaching your destination. You're shining your light. You're already amazing. You're already who you're supposed to be. Number 4 was those rainbow blessings, guys. Things are awesome around you all the time. Number 5 is choosing your path, because all things are possible. I really like those cards. But let's do a clarification card with Beyond Lumera. If I say it 15 times, maybe I'll say it right. At least one of them. Who knows? Put it in the wall of cards. I opened up a drawer the other day, guys, and found more cards. I was like, oh my God, I'm such a hoarder. I have such an addiction. So let's pick up this other deck, Beyond Lumera cards, or the Oracle deck by Izzy Ivy. I really do like them. They're wordy, I know, but I really do like these cards. I can't even lie. I like them. Okay. So what are we pulling out today? Oh, what a pretty card. As you guys know, in this card, it doesn't come with a book. It just comes with a short version with all the words on the back. So I do read those. What a gorgeous card. Look at that. So much. I mean, look at that light at the very top. So bright. I mean, just with that light, the color they brought that in is like blinding to me. So this card is a solar plexus chakra, radiant illumination. I think we brought this card through before, guys, and so apparently we need it again. The solar plexus chakra is a radiant center of your being. It holds a vibrant spark that brings your passions to life. Enter this space to step away from playing small, unworthiness, the idea that you are taking up space, and insecurity-based competitiveness. Allow yourself to be attuned to the abundant life force that resides at your center, and be energized, motivated, and fueled with inspiration. Bring forth more of what you wish to birth in the world. As you discover a deep and real sense of self-empowerment, you can confidently lift others in celebration, harmonizing differences, and shifting I can't say the word, you know what I'm talking about, paradigms into collective co-creation. I can't say 2 words, apparently. Anyway, what an amazing card. Okay, uplift yourself, guys. Know that you can bring it all to the table into the future. And I think this is huge. I think this card is huge. So know your worth, guys. Know your worth, okay? I love it. So you guys got a lot to work on this week, don't we? Holy cow, lots to work on. So let's talk about these shows that we got going on, guys. These shows, we got lots of shows going on. We got lots of shows. And you know what? I'm going to also say this. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Tim. Tim had sent me a message because his chat wasn't working. He said, I'm going to read it because he sent it me in a private message, but he was trying to put it in the chat. I said, for some reason, my chat isn't working, but thank you for this morning's message. I think you know how closely what you say follows my life. From books to hiding to fear of being exposed to being myself. Thank you so much. And thank you, Tim, for watching always. I love that. Love the solar plexus card. I love that you're human. I am human. Isn't that insane? I'm human, guys. I'm human. I love it. But I do want to bring up, I want to go back a little bit to the shows that we have going on because I think we got some amazing shows. Amazing, amazing. Anyway, gotta go up. You know, I gotta go up and see this picture. I gotta go back. I'm telling you what, and more shows are always coming in. Always, always, always coming in, which I love. I never know which I never know where I'm going to find it at. That's the problem with this. I do know that we start today with myself, School Through Spirit, here on WLTK-DB.com. God, I hope I didn't delete the picture again because I tend to do that. And then we go on in a little bit. I'm going to bring this up on the Facebook page so I can see what the heck I was doing in life. We go on in a little bit today at noon with Barnaby Jones with Monday Morning Monsters. Tonight we have got Christina Bloom's Be the Change. Be the Change. Oh my God, there we go. I'm literally looking in old chats going, oh my God, I know it's in there someplace because I always feel bad if I'm going to miss one of the shows. So we do have Be the Change tonight, which is a beautiful show again with, oh my God, I'm going to mess this up so badly, Todd, because I cannot remember. There it is, current show listing. God, I saved myself on that one. Okay, and she's at 8 p.m. tonight. Tomorrow night is myself, Unfiltered with DeEtte Ranae at 6 p.m. That is a solely reading show, guys. But I'll tell you what, we tried something new last week, which is awesome. It was awesome, where I brought viewers in and I did a one-on-one reading with them. I think in this week, you know what, last week I pulled 1 or 2 cards. Maybe, you know what, we'll bring in a few special ones to give a little bit more in-depth reading, okay? So I will do one. I'm going to be doing 1 word or 1 question answers or pull a cards where people don't come in. But if you want that special reading, guys, we'll do 2 or 3. Jump on. We're going to bring you into the chat. You don't have to have your face in there, although it's awesome to see your face. I'm going to do a little bit more in-depth reading for you. After myself at 7 p.m. is Moment to Moment with Linda Hope, another new host. Oh my God, amazing show. Paranormal Pete with Pete Orbea is on at 10 p.m. Wednesdays, the Psychic Hour with Kelly Brickell, 3 p.m. She's our numerologist, which is fantastic. Gotta love her. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. is Over the Target with Missy Hart and Nicole Ford. Thursday mornings is our very own Chat with Charlie with host Stephanie Lynn at 9 a.m. Realm of Darkness with Rennie Rodriguez and Ashley Moreno is on at 7 p.m. Afterlife Chronicles with Nicole Strickland is on at 8 p.m. And Voices of the Dead with Kenneth Drake is at 9 p.m. Another new host. Holy cow. Thursdays are busy. Fridays, we start again at 9 a.m. with the Good Shit Show with Missy Hart. We all know we love that show, and thank God she brought it back. Psychic Hour Readings show at 3 p.m. again with Miss Kelly Brickell. She's just doing readings at that time, guys. And Secrets Within with Rennie Rodriguez is at 8 p.m. Freaking phenomenal, guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. I will tell you what, we also have a lot of other new things coming on. We have another, next month, more new shows. September, October, I can't remember, even more shows, even more. You guys are helping us to build this station just by watching and going, oh my God, we're here, we're here, we're here. Now, I want to tell you 2 things are happening. One, I want to tell you about my next week's guest, because you guys know her, you love her. Heather Lee Landon is coming back on next Monday morning. You've seen her before. She is also part of the Warren Legacy, group. She's just an incredible woman, but we're doing a book launch next week with her, guys, a book launch because it's hit, it's gone, it's going, it's out there, and I cannot wait just because it's coming. It's launching, I actually think next Monday. I think next Monday is the actual date. And as you know, I think we've done 2 or 3 book launches for people now, and I love those shows because they're dynamic. I love it. I also want to look ahead, guys. I'm going to look ahead. Now we're going to go, I'm not going to talk about September. I'm looking ahead to October. Looking ahead to October because I want to let you know, October 10th, I'm going to be on location. I'm going to be in Arizona. And I'm still going to do my show, but I'm going to do it from location where I'm at, wherever I'm at. I don't know if maybe I'll do it in the front yard and hope a scorpion doesn't come or something. Who knows? It's going to be incredible. But I want to tell you who's coming on. Michelle Blood. Michelle Blood. Oh my God. I want you guys to all take a moment to Google Michelle Blood. This woman is a dynamic force to be reckoned with. She was an Australian rock star, just a huge name. She had a horrific accident and she really had to do a lot to heal herself, which she did. And she came back to be a force of just a force to be reckoned with, of inspiration. And just, I'm now, just literally Google Michelle Blood and affirmations. She does singing affirmations, which are just mind blowing to myself. She's written books. She's twirled all over the place with inspirational, motivational speakings, written books. Even Bob Proctor himself has put his name on her. So take a moment to look at her. Again, she's not until October 10th. It is a ways out, but I want to also let you know, guys, she's going to be giving some ebooks away on the show. So you got to be part of the show to get the book. You have to show up, guys. You have to show up. And I don't know if she's going to give it to one person or everybody. I don't know. We're going to find out that morning, but you have to show up to get it. I'm going to talk about it more often than you know, because I want everybody to be there. I want everybody to show up and just hear it, because it's awesome. She's awesome. I mean, I don't have a guest on that isn't just incredible. Totally and completely incredible. So with that being said, let's talk about a little bit that's going on with me. One, start watching me on TikTok, guys. I'm doing it. I did it. I showed up. I got the call. I did it. Do me a favor. Google me, DeEtte Ranae, on TikTok. Watch. I do a daily card pull. If you like my card, my pulls, my readings on here, you're going to love them on TikTok. Of course, you can find me on Facebook with DeEtte Ranae. I talked about my show. I'm on Twitter, guys. I'm on Twitter. You know what I do? I have a website for meditations. Go to my website, www.deetteranae.com. I do have a meditation you can down on there, and maybe I think I need to Google. I need to write a new meditation, and you know what? Put it up there for many people to be able to get free download. It is free for you guys. And again, go in there to book readings with me. If you like my readings, if you want to hear more, I do hour long readings that I do for people all the time. So, but you have to go to literally the website to book the reading, which is awesome. We do have my tour going on. It is going on next year. I believe it's September 27th through October 5th, and it is going to Ireland. It's going to Ireland. I don't know how many people on here have seen it, have talked about it. I'm going to put it up if I can find. I know Stephanie put it up because she's amazing. Maybe she didn't, but she's still amazing. And if she didn't put it up, because we did a lot with other things today. We got a lot of stuff up there today. Oh my God, here it is. I'm going to put it up there for you guys to see. Discover the magical Ireland with me. Oh my God, it is a magic. We're going to go there. We are going to do a little bit of paranormal. We're going to see Ireland. Don't get me wrong. We're going to see, I think it's the North Shore and the north side of Ireland. It's a Game of Thrones, essentially, where they shot Games of Thrones and a whole bunch over there. We're going to do some paranormal in the castles. We're going to do some healing type stuff, some readings, just a dynamic, holy crap tour. I'm so looking forward to it. So please, please, please just show up. Oh my God, it's going to be great. You just got to get yourself there. You just got to get yourself there. I'm just clicking on everybody's stuff here. So with that being said, guys, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, where am I going to be this weekend? Find me this weekend. I don't know why this says this. I don't know what this is. Yep, I think that's an older one. So where can you find me this weekend? You can find me in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. I don't want to mistake this, so I'm going to I got to literally go in here and I got to Google, because you guys all know I never know where the heck I'm at, anywhere, anytime. But okay, it is the Mind, Body, Spirit Fair, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it is in the Pioneer Park of Rhinelander, Wisconsin. It is a phenomenal park. I've been going there, oh my God, 4 years now. It's amazing there. I love it. I love it. Love it. It's a nice, quaint little park that we do a lot of readings at. We just pop up an event. It's awesome. But we do it at the same time as the farmer's market is going on. So, you go to the farmer's market, you get your wares, you get your honey, your flowers, and everything else are selling from birdhouses to beehives, which is awesome. I don't know if there's beehives, but you know what I mean. And then you come over to us and we have a full market of crystals and readers and healers. Oh my, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. The list is amazing. and it's awesome. So come on in, see us from 9 to 3. Stop in, say hi, give me a hug, get a reading, you know what I mean? All those wonderful things. Then you're going to find me. You're going to find me. I got to tell you where you're going to find me because I'm not quite sure. I got to tell you. I got to click on it to tell you because, you know, if it's on Facebook, it's true. We all know this. I got to keep going. There we go. Sunday. I am teaching my beginners class, my in-person beginners workshop. It's my psychic mediumship beginners class, which I'll tell you what, I love it. I love it. I'm teaching it at Indigo Waters Holistic Therapies and Retreats LLC up in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, and that's at 1120 122nd Street in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. It's up in the Eau Claire type region up in that area, but Chippewa Falls is the actual city. But we are teaching that this Sunday. You do have to get a hold of Kim Pomeroy over at the Indigo Waters Holistic Therapies and Retreats LLC. You can go to my website, or you can go to my website, I believe, I'm not sure. You can definitely go to my Facebook site and click on it. It'll give you all the information for you to be able to bring up her information to register, which is going to be awesome. The class is $100 if you do it in person. It does go from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Bring yourself stuff to drink, bring yourself stuff to eat, unless you feel daring, you think you have enough time to go out to lunch and come back. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be dynamic. I cannot wait, guys. I cannot get, yes, you need to give me an updated list so I can update your site. I know I suck. Todd's telling me about that because it's one of the things. So Todd, my producer, is also my website person, which is phenomenal. And as I was saying where I was this weekend, I realized I didn't tell him where I was. So I'm going to send him a list so he can get my website up to date also for everybody that loves to go there and follow me. So with that being said, everybody, this is DeEtte Ranae with School Through Spirit, WLTK-DB.com. I can't wait to see you again next Monday when I bring in Heather. Be loved, be great, guys. Enjoy the journey. Get to know yourselves a little bit. Start shining. Bye-bye, everybody.